Well, no, I don't think you look tired, isn't it, though?
That's all good then. I say
Maybe sounded a bit tired every now and again, but we had just set the kitchen up, and you've been
I'd been
since 6:30. Did you get there that morning?
I rocked about 6:30. Yeah.
Got yourself a bit excited to film again, didn't you? So you came super early.
Also, we had to get the fridge sorted.
Huh?
We had to get the fridge sorted. It was the guys who were coming in at 6:30. You know, they fitted the new thing on. What's it called?
The control panel.
Yeah.
Was that the day we recorded?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, they came in. I was going to come in at 7:30, then I was like 7 because I panicked, and then you were like, well, you might as well come in at 6:30 if you game.
Oh, yeah.
They were there at 5:30 on the dot.
Yeah, no, I remember now. And today it's me that came in here at 6.
Yeah, you were at 6 high. You got used to it though.
Do you want a pillow?
Yeah, alright then. So?
Yeah, I came to fix the fan.
Restaurant life.
Yeah, in it. So, Liam, let's talk go then, yeah?
Yeah, same again.
Yeah, I've just been away for a week.
Yeah. Turkey year.
Yeah, first week away, which was good.
First full week away.
First full week away. Yeah, so yeah, talk us through how the dough was.
Quite inconsistent.
Okay.
I mean, the lads will have told you as well, but yeah, it was actually, I was getting, as the week went on, I was getting more and more frustrated because I could have done more to figure it out, but it was very inconsistent throughout the week. And I think that was largely due to my Bega more than anything. My actual Bega pre-ferment was very inconsistent throughout the week. Day to day, it wasn't the same.
Yeah, okay.
Which is, again, problematic. And I'm thinking, because I'm rushing around, I'm not thinking too outside the box. So I kind of was narrowing it down really just to water and time in the mixing. Mm-hmm. I even thought, I'll take out the, it's funny, going back to our conversation about earlier about Bega, which we'll touch on. My thought was...
I'm hoping this is funny now because all that...
Well, I wouldn't... Is it a ha chuckle funny? I don't know, but it was... my thinking was I hadn't built enough gluten. So I took away the reverse option. So after 2 minutes, we reverse the bowl.
Yeah.
So partially clean the bowl, but also just to stop it building up too much heat and build too much gluten, because so I just cut that reverse out one day,
right? Okay.
Thinking, maybe it needs a bit more, because yours are always feel stronger, and I'm not made the connection as to why yet. So I've took that reverse out, and obviously that didn't help.
That made it worse.
So I went back to reversing it. But yeah, it was just wildly inconsistent day to day. The best Bega I had was probably the mix that I made on Sunday. So the Bega I made on Saturday was probably the best throughout the entire week.
Bega one on Saturday, not the one in the afternoon.
Yeah, the initial Bega, the one that I made on Sunday. That was probably the best one I made, but I don't know why. There'll be a reason why, but I didn't figure that out at the time. And I think we've probably touched on that this morning, which we'll go into. But
yeah, we'll get to that. So starting in beginning of the week, so what we spoke about last time, I think we quite extensively spoke about our dough, and a little bit about our Bega, which is a mechanical mixed Bega, more of a sponge Bega.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at. I thought you were thinking that. I was thinking, what were you thinking about? But yeah, it's a mechanically mixed Bega, not by hand, so it's more of a sponge Bega, or I think we said this last time, what some people want to call a pre-ferment. They don't want to call it a Bega. But it is a Bega. We use 6 grams yeast per kilo of flour, and like we said last time, we're quite above on the yeast levels compared to most people in the Bega. And we mix it for around 4.5 minutes.
The other thing as well, maybe you mentioned it there or not, I did space out for a second. It was the hydration. It was 55%.
55%.
You thought I was thinking about something. I just drifted off like.
What is I was going to say something like? Thinking about hydration, 55%. Yeah, we didn't mention that last time.
No,
we hydrate to 55%.
Which is where the Bega pre-ferment sponge conversation comes into play, isn't it? Yeah,
so we'll talk about that again after, as we kind of want to talk through the week. I don't want to kind of go too far away and come back to it. So we'll remember that to come back to that. So that is it, kind of in a nutshell what we're doing with our Bega. I think something we realised this morning is that you may be over mixing, but so if you can start at the beginning of the week, how long were your Begas mixing for?
They were all consistent between 4 and 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It never, it never went over 4.5 because the one time I did, it was well over mixed.
Yeah.
So I didn't go beyond that. So it was more about what temperature the water was would dictate where in that range, 4 to 4.5 minutes. You know, that's not much of a range. So my water tended to be between 14.5 to 16 degrees, but never quite as high as that.
Yeah.
Because that's a bit too warm. So yeah, it mixed for the same time every time, but the water varied a little bit. Obviously the flower temperature is going to vary a bit, so I wasn't reading the dough. I was you know, quite robotic in it, and I wanted to mix for this time, and like you say, I was quite narrow-minded in my thinking that I wasn't really adjusting much, so that's why throughout the week it was quite inconsistent.
Yeah. I think everything with dough comes down to the bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's the first thing to look at.
Yeah.
So the dough, how did it turn out?
Some days it was okay. Some days it was kind of shit.
So I saw when I put the message in, I said to the lads, like, give us an update how it's going for you guys on service, and the first thing on Vince's section was,
because
about the dough, he said, but Liam told us about his mistakes.
Right, yes, okay, right, yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot to tell you.
Okay.
So the first 2 days you went away, small mistake, but the first 2 days you went away, I put 20% Manitoba rather than 30% in the Bega.
That's all right. That's okay.
But it was noticeably.
I was thinking, what's the mistake? I doubled my yeast or something.
No, you still got pizza out of it, like.
Good.
But it required a delicate hand, and it had to figure it out for those 2 days.
Yeah.
And which is why I said it started really shit and it got better throughout the week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because those 2 days, it was quite. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was nice that it was not nice. It was good to know what 20% felt like compared to 30%, like the difference. Like, yes, there'll be other factors that have caused it to be a bit weaker, but that was noticeably different.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I think it was like the Tuesday. The Tuesday when I was making my Bega and I was counting in my head and I was like, oh no. And I was just casting my mind back to how the dough felt. And I was like, that's fucking why. So yeah, it was
20% Manitoba. Yeah, so like the Manitoba, that's the kind of the backbone of our Bega. It's the high W.
Yeah.
Slightly higher protein, so it's the bit that gives us that little bit more strength. We tested it, if you remember, if you go back, we tested it on 10%, 20% and 30%. And 30% gave us what we need. So we're getting our W level at the number we want it to be.
Yeah.
How did you find using the other Manitoba, Della Giovanna Manitoba?
That was really nice, yeah.
It was good, it's stronger. That's maybe W90.
Yeah, I think that's what you said, 390.
Yeah. And whereas the one we use at the moment, we're using Caputo, which is 370.
I think it's maybe 360 to be fair.
360, and we were using Malini Pizzuti, which we'll be using again.
Yeah.
And I think that was 370.
Right.
If I remember, I can't 100% remember now, but anyway, we kind of developed how much we need to give us the strength we need in our Bega. So yeah, you'll notice 20%.
It was significant, like, because the thing is, like, every process, and this is something I learned along the way, is your process is aligned to the flour.
Yeah.
So that 20% isn't aligned with our process.
No.
So it was noticeably different. Whereas you could get that 20% to work really well, but you'd have to change the process.
Yeah. It's like we use 10% TPO1.
Yeah.
And if we dropped it to 5%, we'll have to make a few amendments. Yeah, so you've always got to change up. So yeah, 20% would have been noticeable. Who noticed first then? Was it the lads telling you something went right?
No, I told them that the dough was shit each day. Okay. Not shit, I told them, like, that I explained to them, look, the dough isn't great, I'm trying to figure out what it is at the minute. There's something soft about it, so you need to handle it this way.
Yeah.
And then I figured it out while making my Bega when I was weighing it out in my head. And I finished weighing, I was like, that's not quite right, so I times fucking 2 by 3 again. And I was like, oh no, that's when I realised. So then that's when I was able to tell the lads, there's a reason that it's this shit.
Did you do that as well?
Yeah, you can probably find it on the cameras if you really wanted to fucking scroll back. You don't, but yeah, there was a realisation. It was so I explained that to them.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, throughout the week the dough was better than that, but then it still was quite off. And again, there's various reasons for that, and I'm slowly piecing that together now, which we can go into. But that first 2 days, that was the downfall.
Okay, so you run into the start of your 8-day stint by making a mistake.
The 2 days in a row.
But you then figured it out, you corrected it, and then what happened? Did the dough get better? Or?
So the temperature cooled a lot. As you've seen when you went away, that it was pissing down all week.
Yeah.
A lot of rain, which means the temperature dropped by
32 degrees for me.
32, delightful. It wasn't that here. We went from, so when you created this new process and you wanted to implement some room temperature, it was 30 minutes at room temp, and the room temp was 24, 25 quite consistently, or 24 to 26 quite consistently. The room temperature dropped to 21 to 23 maximum. It was really like 21, 22. So we discussed leaving it out longer to suit the room temperature and finding the right timings. Now what I did was that, but over the week I kind of started to realise that it wasn't having that impact. Like the longer you leave it, it just ferments to the way you want it. Like it started to click in my head that obviously yeast activity isn't linear with time as such, and temperature. Like yeast activity could be varied in various ways. Like the beaker, my beaker could have been more acidic that day, so leaving it out for 10 more minutes isn't going to help it ferment a bit more. It's just actually going to damage it more. It's going to proteolyze more and break down more. So there's a lot of different factors I hadn't considered. Just leaving it out for 10 minutes more didn't help it. So I'd come in the next day, I'd left out for 40 minutes rather than 30 minutes. There was a couple of days of that week where it was just weak. It was overgassed basically, and it wasn't performing. Even with that extra 10% Manitoba. So that was another 2 days on top of the bigger realization. Those were the next few days.
Off the back of that chat last night when we were talking about that, I think 30 minutes is the time we want to aim for. So let's stick with 30 minutes. But I don't think changing the yeast is the right thing to do either. So what we need to do is change the closing temperature of the dough. So instead of increasing yeast, I don't really want to go above 2 grams 2 grams yeast per kilo of flour in the refresh. I think the dough is reacting so much better with a lesser amount of yeast and an increased amount of yeast in the beaker. So slightly increase the closing temp maybe by half a degree. When you notice that the temperature's coming down, and monitor that, and let's keep a note of how the dough reacts, going up maybe half a degree if it's 2 degrees cooler. And then we can kind of zone in there whether it's like 2 degrees equals half a degree warmer. Or maybe it's like 0.4 degrees warmer or 0.3, and how much we need to vary it by. And if we can't like fully nail that down into something that we can get right every single day, the other thing we could do is increase the yeast in the beaker. So again, I'm not going to say it, the line from last week, I'm not going to say it again, but we could add more yeast into the beaker. So we could load up the beaker a little bit more, give that a bit more activity, and then see how it responds. So if you wanted to increase, because you increase from 2 grams to 2.5 grams of yeast in your final mix on one of your days, we'll get to that in a minute. But instead, knowing that the days are going to be a little bit cooler, you maybe could have increased the yeast in the beaker to test. Again, it's testing. We haven't got the full answers to this. We're testing. So, but they're the 2 areas that I want to test first before changing the amount of yeast in the refresh, and before leaving the dough out for longer. But not saying we'll leave it out for an hour now, because that would also mess up our prep. And then when it gets to winter, we're leaving it out for 2 hours now. It's not going to work. So I think the closing temperature is what's going to help us there. Or maybe a little bit more yeast in the beaker.
Because the other thing that I hadn't, it's such a simple thing that seemed like common sense, but I'd increased that yeast weight from 2 to 2.5 per kilo. And I guess the other thing I hadn't considered is that yeast also ages. So like that to a yeast, we've got that kilo of yeast, that might spread over, I'd say, 4 or 5 days. If it was also putting our hands in it and adding more bacteria into it. So that's the other thing to consider is, will the temperature of the final mix account for that? Does that make sense?
I'm just going to have to pause you for 1 minute. Elliot's turned that music up upstairs, so I'm going to have to turn his music down. I can do it all by my phone.
Nice, good, because I'm not enjoying the music either.
There we go. Right. Anyway, so what you said.
So, what I'm asking is, do you think that extra temperature, let's say 0.5 degrees in closing temperature of the dough, so 16.5 to 17 degrees, let's say, do you think that keeping the yeast the same despite the yeast being 4 days old compared to when we first opened it? Do you think
I think So your main question there was about yeast health.
Yeah.
I think it's going to vary. Yeah, it's going to vary from day 1 to day 15. Yeast, what most people say, you give it 2 weeks. Life. So it's going to vary from day 1 to day 15. But I don't think any pizza chef can monitor that. I don't think, because we don't know the age of the yeast when it gets delivered to us either. We also, so many variables, like the fridge we keep it in, it gets opened up so many times in the day. What if we have a really quiet day one day? Then that yeast is going to be held much colder. So then its life would be extended slightly. So we can't control the strength of that yeast. What we have to do is just know how the yeast looks and how our dough's performing, and then try and make a best decision based off that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was sort of going with it in my head, where now increase the yeast is starting to read the dough more again.
Yeah.
So when we come in the next day and I have used 2.5, you can judge that based on what the dough looks like. And if you're still using the same yeast, then maybe that 2.5 might work for a bit. Yeah. And maybe that extra little nudge up in temperature closing the dough might help. Yeah. But then if you open a new block of yeast, drop it back down again, and sort of judge it based on, it's kind of reading the dough a lot, to be honest. And it is, there is a lot of testing involved, and there's no guarantee of how it might be if you fluctuate with how the yeast fluctuates.
I 100% get the route you've gone down there with the yeast. I wouldn't worry too much about the yeast health. I think it may get a bit too hard to decide like the health of that yeast and to know, okay, I can up it today a little bit. Maybe we could, but I think it might get more difficult than what like we think it might be to assess the yeast. I think if you ever have any doubts with the yeast, just get rid of it. Then open a fresh one and go from there. That's what I would suggest with that. Otherwise, you're gonna get stressed out because you're gonna be then monitoring how much time everything's got, how much yeast is in the beakers, how much is in the refresh, how much time we're leaving it out, the temperature we're closing it at, and now adding in yeast health as well. If you want to test the
baby
yeast
to care for,
let's look up online, see if we can buy something to test the health of the yeast, and you can just like input it.
It might be something.
That would be an easier way to do it than like every day getting the tub out and going, okay, you look healthy.
Just give them a good whiffing, give them a good crumble.
There's obviously the natural tells anyway with yeast. It starts to go dry and crumbly, get rid of it. But there's been times where we've had a fresh delivery and it's been already dry and crumbly, and it's like, you talk to your supplier and they say, well, it's not old, we haven't had it very long, but so,
there's always going to be inconsistencies with the production of yeast and the storage of yeast. So that's understandable. I guess, I guess that answers it. We'll have a go down the route of fluctuating the temperature of the closing.
Temperature closing, and then maybe the amount of yeast in the beaker. And there was, after obviously talking to you last night about how the week had been for you with the dough, and you told me about that. It did get me thinking, okay, like we don't want to be changing times. I tested a few 40 minutes and a few 50 minutes at room temperature. Had like some success with some as well, but it makes sense to leave that 30 minute window.
That window seemed to work very well. And like I said, there's not a linear relationship between time, temperature and yeast activity. That was the realization of me throughout the week when I was fluctuating and trying to find that sweet spot of each temperature against each time, and then you realize that that's just not how it works.
No.
So that's good. It's good to learn that. Again, like we said last week, is it's all learning, it's all testing.
Yeah, of course it is. So after that, how did the rest of it go? How did the rest of the week go?
I was quite stressed on Saturday with it, to be fair. It wasn't that great. Again, my beaker on Friday that I made was pretty crap.
Okay.
I got, and the beaker I did before that wasn't great.
So when you say it's crap, how was that feeling for you?
It didn't have the structure didn't hold itself. So if I would bring it out of the tub and slice into it, it would just settle a bit.
Right, okay.
It felt weaker to hold, and then occasionally there would be a slight acidic or alcoholic smell. Okay, and a slight alcoholic is fine, but when it starts to feel a bit, when it stays away from yogurty and creamy, you know you've gone in the wrong direction or too far. So that was the issue, that I can tell holding it that it's weaker. And then you have a smell and it's okay, right? There's something not quite right with it, and you try to fix it by maybe lowering the hydration a little bit and sort of giving it a little bit more whipping to try and get more strength into it. But ultimately, it's not got the strength from the get-go that it needs.
And then you're noticing it in your final product anyway.
Yeah. So Saturday it was gassy. It wasn't like it was. You looked at it and you thought that looks gassy, but then you take out the tray and it degasses itself. As soon as you touch it and put the dough scraper in, it starts to degas. That's when you know it's quite weak. It's like it's expanded, but there's under there, the actual dough balls like that, and there's that much gas on top. You know what I mean? It's dead underneath basically. So And then on Sunday it was alright.
Nice.
And then
so you recovered it. Back in the week you recovered it.
But I didn't know why. This is the problem. So
because you know it's coming back, so the pressure started to drop from you.
No, maybe. No, there was plenty of pressure on myself, like. No, again, but it turned out okay on Sunday, not because I did anything in particular. This is what I've concluded from the week just gone, is that I wasn't really looking into it to figure out why. I was just trying small tweaks here and there, uninformed tweaks to figure it out, and it did. You know.
Well, that being said, whilst I was away, I got a lot of Instagram messages, a lot of pictures of pizza, and they were looking good. People were enjoying it.
So so the thing about that is, and that I feel like goes credit to me and the lads, is over the time I've been here is learning from you, and then seeing that from certain pizza chefs is you've got to know your dough and you've got to work out your dough. And every day I come in, I put a pizza in the oven, I'll look at it, figure out how I stretched it, and then I'll adjust the oven or I'll adjust my hands, and then you find out. But ultimately you want your dough to be reliable, and you know, it's
all in these at the end of the day. It's all in the hands. Bad dough, good day, good dough, bad dough. Bad day, good day.
I don't know where you go with that, but
good dough or bad dough. The hands can fix it. You know, you can have some dough that you think is bad, and then you use your hands on it. You put your hands on it, you make some stretch it out, and then you get a banging pizza out of it. Loads of times I thought this dough's done. Not good pizza. I remember like 8 months ago. I remember like the lads were saying, "Oh, the dough's like not quite right on a night." And then the next day I got the dough, was like super gassed, and then I sent loads of videos in like, this is the pizza I'm getting from this dough, look at it, look at this pizza, like, it's so good. It's just, exactly what you said, it's just in your hands, and you did that, the lads did that, and the pictures I was getting were good. What you guys were sending me were good as well, so people were enjoying it.
And that's the main thing, like.
Inevitably what people get to the table is the most important thing. And these things, what we see as mistakes, it might only be like little tiny things that are slightly impacting us on service, softer dough, maybe a little bit more gas dough. But the product that goes to the table is always going to be good. We've never been at that point of a critical mistake, other than when you forgot to salt that time.
There's probably been a few more, like, but that was definitely the worst. And that time I forgot the yeast in the Vega.
That was a nightmare. That I opened up in the morning, it was just this flat.
Saturday morning as well. I had a Saturday off for some reason, and I got a call at 9:30 in the morning or 9 in the morning on a Saturday. Did you put yeast in the Vega? Maybe not. Maybe not. No.
I remember thinking I could tell that I woke you up.
Yeah, you did.
I'm gonna be up, like, how you forgot yeast in the Vega, mate? Oh shit, yeah. It's okay, I'll fix it.
Oh man, I deserve the bollock in there, right? But anyway, what were we saying about that? I was gonna say the thing about I realised when like what we see is coming out the oven often as a shit pizza. As soon as it gets on the table, it looks like a different pizza. Has that happened to you or not?
There's been loads of times where I thought I had a great reaction, and when I put it on the table, it's fucking massive.
Like I'm like all last week I was like, oh, fucking hell, I was stressing because my dough wasn't coming out how I wanted to, and I was like, that's all right enough, and it goes on the table, I walk by and I'm like, who made that?
I think when you pull it out of the oven, you critical eyes on it.
For sure.
And that's the only way you're thinking. Then you're thinking critically. You're just looking at it in a negative way because you're assessing all the things that you think you've done wrong. And then it gets to the table and everyone's like, oh my god, and they're enjoying it and loving it. And there's that balance there between understanding what's actually bad and what's not. I don't think there's very rarely, maybe you've been nearly 2 years, and twice the yeast and the salt are the two critical mistakes. But considering you didn't come from a kitchen to make only 2 mistakes in 2 years, I'm going to credit myself.
So you can credit yourself for all the other little mistakes, non-door related.
No, but in all seriousness, to only have 2 critical mistakes in that time, it's fucking great. And the lads handled it well, and so I still had good pizza. Good. Anything else to report on the dough from last week? Or
probably, I can't think right now.
Fair enough.
What would be? I think I've covered it. Like the beegers throughout the week, inconsistent. My mix, we've gone through that this morning.
Let's turn the music up again.
Sorry.
I'm gonna put it down to half. We'll see if that rises again. I'm gonna splice that one in. That's the current music level.
Oh no, never
I
mind.
think he's talking to him.
I thought he was talking. No, so yeah, the Bega throughout the week inconsistent. I think hopefully I can figure out now why. Having spoken to you and having read about it at home. The mix itself, there was one thing that I was doing that you weren't doing that could impact it, so that's good. Like overall, my mixes were still good. I was still finding ways to improve the dough, given that I started from foundationally not great points. And the lads, all I had to do is just let them know, like, this is how it is today. Like, you know, do what you can with it. I'm finding ways to get it good, but just don't be precious with it. If you get to a point in the tray where you're like, it's just the quality is diminishing, just move on to the next tray, because the first half of the tray was coming out the oven really well. So yeah, the lads,
when it warmed up too much.
Yeah, it just warmed up too much, and it didn't have that structure to hold.
And then as well, you know, if you had things on the weaker side, and then you increase the yeast as well, so from 2 to 2.5, that's not going to help things either. It's going to just get that fermentation going like way faster than you want it to with weaker dough, and it's not going to have the strength and the structure to hold the gas. So it's going to just gas out. But you still got good pizza.
Yeah, did the job.
Yeah, nice.
So that's about it.
Nice.
Really.
And then what we learned this morning was you were potentially over mixing the Begas slightly, maybe. So we're just going to pull that down a little bit, the amount that you're mixing. And you should get a lot stronger dough.
Yeah, well, more than anything is reading the dough. I haven't been reading. To be honest, that's something that I really could do with working on. I've never really done that much here, and even though we spoke about it in the past, like I've spent a lot of time trying to read the dough. I still am, obviously. But I've never really done the same with the Bega itself. I think in my head it's always been a very mechanical, robotic process. The Bega is simple, you know. Whereas this morning you've reminded me that no, that I'm stopping that here. I can see that that's built up gluten already, and it's going to continue to do that in the fridge because we're putting it straight in there for 22 hours. With a lot of yeast, so it needs to slow down basically. And I've just fucking accelerated that. So yeah, that's an important lesson to have learned. I've been reminded of.
It's the first thing, I said this to you about a month ago, it's the first thing when the dough isn't feeling right, go to the pre-ferment. Go there first and see what mistakes might be getting made, or time, temperature, what is one of them not right, what's going on, water incorporation, water temperature, yeast levels. Let's try and get that right, find any faults there, and then we can build out. If there's no faults there, then we can look at what we're doing in the mix, and then we can look at how we're storing the dough. Because we store our dough over 2 fridges as well. We have our upstairs service fridge and we have our downstairs backup fridge. So we have to account for how those fridges work as well. So is there something going on there? Is one fridge, you know, have we overstocked the fridge with prep? And is that too warm in that fridge? Is there making changes? There's everything to assess, but start with a Bega. So learn how to read the Bega and see. Like today, I saw it and I thought we had built enough. I didn't want to build any more gluten in there. What we mentioned last week was about building pressure in a Bega. And if you overmix that Bega, if you overwork that gluten, it's going to struggle to necessarily hold that pressure. You want to keep it more like on the under side than the over. It's why traditional Begas don't build up any gluten. You know, you build that pre-ferment, that strength differently to how you would do building a direct dough. So yeah, I think we found out this morning maybe. So we'll see. The Bega that I made yesterday was nice, strong this morning. Felt very different. Did it feel the same as yours did on Sunday? That was the one day that was noticeable. Like the difference in where I wanted it to be. It was close to. That's what yours felt like today. And that's probably not what mine felt like for you yesterday. If I'm correct, I'm assuming. It was soft. It was soft. It was. It had quite a lot of gas to it, too much gas to it. It was holding it, it had strength to it, but it was soft.
It's not enough, I
noticed that in the final product, you know, from how it feels, quite soft in the Bega, you know, it's on the final product. But the dough was good. And what you text me saying, the dough that you made, I have to get my days now. I handed it over to you over text on Monday. So the dough I made on Monday. So I was back in the kitchen yesterday. So you said that the dough you made on Monday might not be too great once it had gone through all day and all night. And then it was ready for my service yesterday. It was good. The dough was sound.
Yeah, the Bega wasn't though.
No, but you know,
that's where my improvements in reading the dough in the mix have came into play. But I haven't applied that to the Bega. If someone had said, "Here's some dough, make a pizza, test it, and let me know," there'd have been no notes. It was sound. Again, the hands, the thing, you know, for me, I don't really think about it. I see the dough and then I just instantly know how to, like, what I'm going to do with it. So maybe if I didn't know what I'm going to do with the dough, maybe I would have said, okay, it's not that great, or
or I still said it's great. I don't know, but I just handled it differently to how I would handle maybe today's dough, and the product comes out completely fine. So it's hard to say whether that was bad if you can handle the dough.
Yeah.
It had no characteristic. Yeah. No characteristics of being bad dough.
Yeah.
It wasn't overgassed. It wasn't weak. It had good extensibility to it and good elasticity to it as well. It tasted good. When I baked it, it got really good bake on it. I had to reduce the top elements. It was ballooning. It was getting blisters quite easy, so I just handled it a little bit different again.
Yeah.
Pictures were good. Yeah, nice tasty dough, mate.
You know what was really nice actually? The dough that I made on Sunday, I was using on Monday. The one batch of the week that actually went how I wanted it to, at least. It was 100%. It was 100% Bega, the mix.
Oh yeah.
Which I hadn't done for a while, really. Like, I even done well for a while. And the actual Canotto, it wasn't just that it responded well, but it had a beautiful like brown hue all around it. You could see it was like glass-like. If you flicked it, almost it would crack, but not. You needed more of a flick because it was strong. Yeah. But they had those little bubbles on it. It had beautiful brown hue.
I love it when you got all the little bubbles.
Yeah, the fucking cracker-like texture almost. Yeah. And there's because the Bega, the foundation was really good, and then I mixed it really well. And I also. So one thing I did in that mix was, because it was 100% Bega, I was curious. So when I actually knocked it up to 260, just for like 30 seconds to a minute, I also increased the bowl speed to 30. And it came out feeling light as a feather, but strong. And it balled up really nice, and it came out really nice on Monday. Yeah. So it was fun. It was fun to play with that a bit. But the actual, the actual Canotto, I could have stared at that all day. The colour of it, the hue and the texture of it. Oh, yeah.
Nice
good stuff, man.
You getting pictures of it?
Yeah, I've got some pictures on my phone. I'll show you. Hang on. I don't know if I zoomed in on it, but I've certainly got pictures of it. See that brown hue there? Nice, yes. It's nice, like it baked really well.
Nice. Get that up to that camera.
I want a different picture up. That's not got enough light in it, has it?
That one you just showed me was perfect.
Well, that one.
Oh, nice. That was good.
So that's the pizza. That one, and I stretched that classic as well. So I chucked it about a bit, slapped it about, and it still reacted nice. Had that lovely, nice brown hue on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was perfect. Good reaction to it. Good size.
Yeah. And then, of course, if I stretched it how I stretched it for the restaurant, it'd come out like that.
Nice.
Like that.
Nice.
But yeah. Anyway, so I thought I'd bring that up because I was absolutely besotted with that.
No, I can tell, man. You've been smiling all the time when you're talking about
that brown hue on it, man. Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful stuff. Anyway.
Good. Anything else to report from the week, or?
No, mate. It was decent. It wasn't. I said to you over text, like, it wasn't. It wasn't the most exciting week in terms of. There he goes. Yeah, it wasn't super eventful.
It's any bad out. It was a rainy week in England on air. It was.
It was pissing down.
You still sold a good amount of pizza. People, were still coming in, and you guys smashed a full week. Liam was acting as head chef. He smashed it. Nice.
No, it was good. It was a good week, mate. It was a long week, but it was a good week. No, it was sound. The lads were sound.
Good.
Front of house operated as they should have. Yeah. I think. A lot of tiramisu sold as well.
Yeah, double the previous week.
You know, I've in the past I used to get a little bit annoyed because it's a big item to fit into prep. Yeah. But I got to the point where tiramisu tastes so good. Looks so good to make, and knowing that many people are eating it, I was actually starting. Towards the end of the week, I wasn't annoyed. I was like, "Get in! Another tiramisu to make." Yeah. And then watching it all go out, because I think that's the heartbreaking part, isn't it? That I've spent, I'll spend like 30 minutes to 40 minutes making that tiramisu as quickly as I can, and then to watch it not sell. Yeah. And I take some home, which is great. I enjoy it, but I'd rather people eat it,
100%.
So actually, that was probably a nice little highlight of the week.
I think 100%. I think it'll also make now that you're doing more Saturday evenings, I think you'll start to appreciate doing it more, because now you'll see, like, Friday, Saturday nights when I'm seeing people eating the tiramisu in their faces when they buy it. So that's why we do it, and that's why I struggle to take it off the menu. And why I don't really want it to take it off the menu. Because when I see people eating it, it's like, fucking loving it. And
Yeah.
we have some regulars as well, Friday night and Saturday night. And if we took it off, they'd be so upset.
Yeah,
So it's so
true.
hard. I don't want to upset people.
Yeah,
It's,
I know.
again, it's
I
similar with
get
that. With the fucking lasagna pizza. Like, it's a banging pizza, but Jesus Christ, we've run that special for 7 months now.
Oh,
but
man.
people, it's consistently in the top, and it's like, and again, like, you will start to notice this as well. Friday, Saturday nights, we've had a special with a lot of our regulars who come because they want that, they love lasagna and they want that pizza. It's
People
like,
are coming in for it now.
and-
I just hate the cunt.
yeah.
Beat that out, but
I'm sick of that pizza, but people are loving it, and it's one of the things you've got to sometimes say, well, people are loving it, why would I take that away from them?
Yeah.
Especially when it's regulars, they're loving it. If it was maybe like just passers by, you know, then they're not going to know any different. But when you have the same people in every Friday and Saturday, and they're saying, I want that same pizza, and they're getting, you know, family getting 4 pizzas, you know, 3 or 4 pizzas, and they're trying one that they love, and then, you know, the one classic pizza. You know, they're already getting a rotation of the new one. They're trying one of our new pizzas. They're getting a classic, and then they're getting the lasagna, which they've had the same lasagna for 6 months, and they're just loving it. It's like I'd be letting them down. I remember when we changed the bechamel base to ricotta base.
Oh, yeah,
I wanted to
painful,
lighten the pizza up. That
Yeah.
was the goal. I wanted to make it a little bit lighter. For me, it was too heavy, and I hated that pizza if you put too much bechamel on it. It needs to be a really light layer of bechamel. So I thought we'll try and lighten that pizza up a little bit. I thought ricotta might be the thing to do it. It wasn't. It didn't taste right. It didn't taste like lasagna. And those people noticed straight away.
Yeah.
Like, they was on a Friday night, I'd be walking through the restaurant, and they said, "What have you done?" You changed it. I'm like, "We're changing it back."
It wasn't as good. With
No,
the ricotta, but
the point behind that is, you know, we're always going to make changes, and they're either going to work or not. It's about that these people noticed and were wanting to bring it up because they love that pizza so much, and that's why with certain things, not many things, I struggle to.
yeah.
You know, to take it back off the menu again.
So there's kind of one thing that it's kind of helped me get through it. the fact that it's still on the menu and it's not going anywhere is, I forgot the chef's name. You know, the founder owner of FK Black Axe Mangal.
Oh yeah,
London.
yeah. I forgot his name.
It's completely
what's his
eluding me
name?
right now, but
I should know because he's a government ambassador.
yeah, no, I really like him. He's a great chef.
He is very good.
But
Have you got his book?
no, I haven't. I've
It's
going
good.
to buy
I'll
it.
lend
Yeah.
you it, it's good.
Yeah,
It's a good
I will
book.
buy that. Yeah. It's when he speaks about the squidding flatbread
Yeah.
on the Black Axe Mangal
Yeah.
menu, and it causes him a lot of pain
Yeah.
because he knows it's a really good product. But he needs the change. He needs to. He's a chef. He wants to try new things, and
Yeah.
that's painful for him. But people are coming in, and people want it. People are coming for that often, and he keeps it on the menu for that reason, and that's getting me through it
Yeah.
because
the same,
I'm
man.
bored of
Exactly
it.
the same,
I'm
man.
sick of looking at it. I'm. It's not like it's another dish on a pizza. So, but it does taste great,
Yeah.
and that's an added thing that helps you get through it. But
Yeah.
the fact that people are coming for it
Yeah.
now, and it has grown in popularity, and so
Yeah.
that's getting me through it. I will be honest.
Yeah, 100%. It's exactly the same as I feel. It's there's nothing else to say on it. I feel exactly the same.
Yeah, good.
You know, people. For me, it's the regulars. It is for me, and because I see them on a Friday and Saturday night, and you know, I don't want to upset them guys. I don't want to piss them off, and
Yeah.
and they'd understand. They'd still come. And they'd find another pizza they love just as much, and that's fine. But they're loving it, and they want that pizza. So all I would do if I took it off is I would end up making a little bit for them.
Yeah.
On the Friday and Saturday. I'm still going to be doing it, you know. So we might as well leave it on the menu and let new people try it as well. And we might be sick of it, but you know, people are loving it, and people come for it.
Yeah.
Might as well leave it there for the time being.
Can't argue with money, mate.
Well, you can't argue with money, but for me, it's more about the happiness and unhappiness of the people that are coming in, and people are coming in who are loving it. Because inevitably, we take that pizza off.
Yeah.
People are going to buy a different pizza.
Yeah.
And you know, sales-wise, probably would be the same. I don't really think the lasagna pizza has brought in 10% more people. No, of course it hasn't. Maybe we had an increase when the Yorkshireman came and he had it and spoke about it. Then we had people coming in and ordering 4 lasagna pizzas.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, it would have brought in more money over a 2-week period. But in general, our 5 pizza specials rotate, and we change them, and people come for that rotation. And they come because we don't keep the same pizza on for forever. So right now we have 4 rotating specials and 1 special that is it's the light stimming.
It's the automatic thing.
service,
Right, yeah.
Okay, so that means it's 11:35, so it's time for service. So we'll leave it there. Let's go make some pizza.
Yeah. Sound. It decided.